What's up, guys and gals, to finally get caught up to the latest chapter of Record of Ragnarok, Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, chapter 102, Soul Salvation. Now, we're finally caught up, so yeah, it was a long ride to get here, because I took a break from the series last year, and but we caught ourselves all the way back up here in the month of April, and now this chapter just dropped, like, I think 2 weeks ago or something like that, and we were just shy of being caught up and ready for it, but now we're here, and yeah, chapter 102, it's the Simo backstory. I like it, and I get his character a lot more, and it makes sort of sense. He just happened to be, to summarize it, he just happened to be really good, because a lot of this is obviously part of his fictional backstory, but in the same sense, a lot of this happened. The Winter War happened. He had 542 kills. These type of things are all accurate. And of course, he was disfigured. And I mean, they make him look much prettier here with a, that kind of idea right here. Once again, he's bandaged up and stuff, but yeah, he was definitely he was disfigured by a bullet and stuff like that. So I like the idea of how he is the most, as they say near the end of the backstory, because the backstory is about, I would say, over half the chapter, is just the fact that he was the most compassionate. He didn't want to be a killer, he just happened to be really fucking good at it. Like let's just call a spade a spade. He happened to just have this skill, this sixth sense, this superhuman ability to turn the tide of war. You know what I mean? Against the Soviets and stuff. And it was like, yeah, okay, the man's just built different, right? But he never wanted to kill anybody. And every single death tore him apart. And so I'm surprised they didn't go with the bipolar route, like a schizophrenia sort of idea, is that his mind couldn't take it. So he had two, like a split personality. One being this. I mean, we've sort of already done that in Record of Ragnarok, so I understand why we're not doing that, but it makes sense. He had to hide himself away and feel all the pain of everyone he killed, and then he had to be the stoic, I'm the White Death soldier during the daytime, but when the sun went down and he was by himself, he just let the grief and the sadness just consume him, and he was not able to sleep a single. Obviously, that's quite fictional. You can't live without sleep. I think 10 days was the record, or 11 days at most. The human brain can't survive without that. But still, very, very badass sounding, or very horrific sounding, right? And his companions have no idea. They just think he's the best. They love him. They think he's amazing. And he's just there, completely, like, devastated. And what I like that they show, something that I like to show, is that he thinks of it, he relives every kill, and he just thinks, this was 134, 135, 130, and then he's like, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, and he thinks of each death, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, and he just lets the grief take him. What I like about this backstory is that this is all a fine backstory. There's nothing wrong with it, and I like that it's kept simple. We don't really need much more. I think we're going to get one more scene, like, after the fact, like, he was there on the porch with his dog, sort of idea. I think we will get, like, one more little flashback, like, maybe 10, 11 pages of one of the chapters, at most. But I like that they don't need a full 3 chapters worth of backstory. This can be summarized. It's done well-paced, well done, and it makes total sense as to his motivation now. We get it. And the way it was sold was a single panel. Well, actually, sort of a 2-panel. When he's counting his kills, and he's thinking, sorry, I'm sorry. Like, right before he starts saying sorry, when he's counting the kills, you could actually argue, because we don't know it quite yet at the time, he could be like a Kenpachi. He could be like, he relives the kills because he loves the blood. He loves the killing. Now, obviously, that's not very well implied, but you could have made that argument up until they show the panel where he's counting the last one he just killed that day, 138. Then we see there's a little locket with a wife and a child. Like, once again, I like the argument. When two sides go to war, neither one is right anymore. I think that was a quote from Shuumatsu from Bleach. But yeah, But there are many other quotes like that, like when two sides go to war, once two sides are at war, both sides are in the wrong. There's nobody who's in the right anymore. You know what I mean? I like that sentiment, because it's like, yeah, so whether you agree that the Soviet soldier was like he was fighting for the Soviets, and if the Soviets were wrong and blah blah blah, at the end of the day, this soldier went to war for his country, and he had a wife and a little girl at home, and I'm the reason that person grows up without a dad anymore. I like it wasn't spoken, it was just shown to us. We understand the implication. Such a powerful shot, in my opinion. And I think that just summarized, I get it. 100%, I get it. It makes sense. Nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean? When we celebrate war heroes and stuff, like the people who beat, the Nazis and things like that. Like, obviously, the Nazis are evil. Well, I can easily say that statement, full stop. And I know I'm correct. I know I'm right. However, there was that... I'm sure there was that soldier like this guy, like this Soviet that Simon killed. Still, you still take away a father or a mother or a brother or whatever, or a son from somebody else. You're still doing that. And can we actually say that every single person, every single soldier's family are evil? Can we say that every brother, every daughter, every mother, is a bad person too? Do you know what I mean? So that's why I love the statement of when two sides go to war, both sides are wrong. I love that because it's so true. No matter how just you are in fighting or fighting back, there's no right anymore. You know what I mean? And this panel is so powerful. See, and this is what I love. It's only half the chapter. It's very powerful. I get the entirety, and the shattered glass thing where he's just like, he can't even take everything, like his mind shattered. I love the shattered glass panel right after this. I think it's fantastic. His heart is just torn open completely, and when he finally but he goes through all this, right? And after his 542nd kill, as I said, it was a stray bullet, yada yada yada, he gets attacked and stuff, but when he was in this pain, and what he felt was like this was terrible, and yet he felt like he had been saved a little bit. He felt just this little bit of like karma. They call it salvation, same idea. But he felt like, fine, like I deserve this. Almost in last chapter they talked about his atonement, and this time it is salvation. Just using synonyms of the same idea here, right? He feels guilty. He feels this unimaginable guilt for taking people's brothers and fathers and sons away from them. Even though he's defending his own country, his own homeland, he still feels all that pain of what he's done to all these people and all these families. So, the karma of it all is actually almost this grim satisfaction he's getting, or the salvation he feels out of this. And so, once it was over, he sat there, and it said he was the most compassionate of all men, and now he's here to fight again and stuff like that. So this Reaper's Vow idea, where he's sacrificing his organs, once again, still don't think that this was necessary for him to have these God-killing bullets, but maybe they are more powerful because he is using the Reaper's Vow. You know what I mean? Like, if the same thing were to apply, would the bullets be less effective, I guess? We don't really know. It's speculation at this point. I feel like this was, Brunhilde even said this was Simon's own request to do it this way. So, once again, it's a little bit of, which one is it? The one that, the person that sort of likes pain or whatever, or thinks they deserve the pain sort of idea. That kind of idea, like those really big zealots, like the guy in the Da Vinci Code or whatever, like who wear a cilice and stuff, like I need to feel the same pain that Christ felt to get closer to God. Sort of, he's convinced himself that he needs to suffer to get some level of salvation or redemption or atonement, and so within his character, that does make sense. So I'm okay with that. I just think that potentially, there was another way to have God killing bullets, is all I'm saying. But yeah, so anyways, he and it looks like the Valkyrie sister actually also takes a lot of damage by doing this. Like when he's coughing up the blood from sacrificing the kidney, her face is cracking and she's suffering, and she's like, and using the liver, and it's like, ugh, reload complete. And it's like, all right, you're ready to go and stuff like that. So she's suffering, he's suffering. So once again, she's definitely attached to the body, not the gun. So I'm assuming that the gun itself is just a regular gun. And that the Valkyrie sister is attached to the body, which he's using to create the bullets. That's what I'm going off of for this one. But anyway, so he loads up, he's ready to go. Loki thinks it's like, and whether Simon can hear him or not, we don't know, but he's basically like, I can feel you aiming at me from somewhere, like I can sense your bloodlust, but give it your best shot, because once you do, I won't miss it this time, I'll find you. So he fires anyway, he fires this time it's not the flower scatters Sembon Zakura bullet, this time it's a heaven-piercing swan of a bullet, and I'm not going to even attempt to say that word. Apparently, it's a mythological figure who is a war hero in the Finnish mythology. Makes sense. Simon, I get it. Anyway, it's this super-powered bullet. It actually sends, so he was perched in a tree. The ricochet from firing this just sends him completely in the air. So he fires this heaven-piercing round. Goes straight for Loki. Now, Loki immediately can tell. He's like, this, a god like me, I can tell exactly where the trajectory is coming from, so now I found you. He brings up a few more copies. He's got Thor, Odin, and Heracles there waiting in the wings by the looks of it. It's not like he just summoned them, but they were like hiding. And boom, he brings them out to defend them. Boom, boom, boom. Goes through all three and does not stop. However, it gave Loki enough time to see the trajectory. He thinks that he's all good, so he immediately... because he knows where Simon is now, so he brings up this ultimate shield, the shield of Skuld, you know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, this is the impenetrable shield, an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, and it's like, ha, you can't do anything here, and then, wait, what? And the bullet keeps going, drills right through the shield of Skuld that he summoned, and right where I wanted it, I think like chapter 99 review is when I said this, but I wanted it right. And boom, there it goes. 2. This bullet can pierce anything, even the heavens. End of chapter. And let me tell you, I would be totally satisfied if that was the end of the chapter. I still argue that it would actually be a good... People would not like it at the time, but it would be good for just one of these rounds to be a cakewalk. Like, the matchup is just that bad. There is an overwhelming power of a human or an overwhelming power of a god. You know what I mean? And I don't mean short because people will say, oh, well, round 1 was kind of short. Well, yeah, but round 2 was as well, because we get loaded up with backstories and stuff nowadays more and more and more, right? As the series has gone on, the fights drag on longer. That's just the case. But I mean a literal, like right there, boom, that's the end. Loki, I would be fine with that, because I really do think at some point we need a no diff that doesn't build up both characters. We get both backstories, blah blah. No, just done right then and there. I would be good with it. I would like the idea. People don't like this to happen in tournament mangas and tournament arcs, but I think it adds a sense of realism to them, that not every fight is going to be this back and forth, the same length of every other round going so, even, like, you know what I mean? No. Sometimes they're just going to get their ass kicked. Like, I argue that, once again, the Haruden shit in the Buddha round was bad. I think it should have ended with just the Zerafuku survives, he beats the evil one, he's like, okay, we're good, and Buddha just overwhelmingly kicked his ass. End of round. That would have been better. It would have been better, because you can't convince me that all of these people, when we don't know who's fighting who, have this even up matchup against everybody. Like, I'm just not buying it that well, you know what I mean? So I really do think I would love if this were the case, I would really love if this was like the end, or basically because they're self-sacrificing bullets, there's a limited number of organs that Simon can use before he's down for the count. I would like this to be a short round, and I would like it so that Loki actually does basically get dog-walked here. Because so far he's getting dog-walked. I'd like it for it to end that way. And Simon still, maybe fires a couple more bullets maybe, but I'm like, I'd be fine with this. I really would be. I think people would be so upset if that was the end of it, but I really like the idea that this puts Loki on the back foot, and it's just a matter of time until number 3, lung, bang, done. And then Loki just bleeds out. I'd be totally fine with that. I know most people would not be, but I really just want an overpowered victory, And we haven't had that, and people say it was bad, but round 1 was way better than a lot of the later rounds. People say that was overpowered. Yeah, but Thor and Lu Bu got to do a lot of crazy clashes. And the art, I'm sorry, the art in the last 3 or 4 rounds combined cannot beat the art of round 1. Art of round 1 was better than any of the last 4 rounds. Period. There's just no comparison. So you can say that the fight wasn't great and it was a low diff and stuff like that. But according to Thor, it was the first time he actually got to go and actually fight. You know what I mean? So how bad was it? You know what I mean? So yeah, anyways, I just think I think we could use, if you argue that was a no diff, blah blah blah, it still went back and forth in my opinion. I think that we just need to get another one of those. I really do, and I think this is a golden opportunity right here to get that same sort of feeling. I'd be fine if the round was over next chapter. I'd be totally good with that if the round was so quick, because Loki would talk the big game. Someone came out there, I'm taking care of fucking business. I'm sacrificing my own body to do it, but I'm going in there for the win early on. I'm going in there to snipe and to win. And a sniper is supposed to get his kill. Like, a sniper's bullet is supposed to be one shot, kill, move on to the next target. It's not supposed to be a drawn-out firefight. You know what I mean? So I like the idea that the sniper round is literally like, once he snipes you, game's over. You know what I mean? So, but that's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, we are officially caught up now. Chapter 101 was just recorded about half an hour ago. I'll be getting that one out, and then 102 here will probably come out, after this weekend. And yeah, and now we're all caught up. Looking forward to finally checking out what people are saying on Reddit and Discord and all that stuff, to see how people are enjoying the backstory with Siegfried and stuff, and Odin and all that stuff, but also how people are feeling about this round right now. So yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys back here next time. Have a good one. Looking forward to reviewing chapter 103. Might even do a stream. It's been a long time, but we might even do a Record of Ragnarok stream now that I'm all caught up. So maybe we'll have to see when the chapter drops. But yeah, but that's it. Thanks guys for putting up with me so far and being patient and waiting to be caught up. And now we are. So yeah, bye bye.